Hi Capricorn, welcome to your April 2019 relationship reading. I'm Raina. This reading is for people who are in troubled relationships, who are looking for some kind of guidance, and that comes through the cards. So, let's see what we got here. Oh, 2 cards came out. Okay. I was just talking about how I was wondering if the 10 of Pentacles relates specifically to Capricorn. Not sure that I keep forgetting to look for that, okay? I always promise to and then I forget. Okay. So, we're going to take these 2 out. These are the 2 cards that represent the heart of the matter. We have the Tower and the 10 of Pentacles. So the Tower card is a card of release. It's a card of things building up to a fever pitch, and then something has to give. And so it's like an event that creates this change, this sudden shift, and depending on the individual, this can be perceived as either something that's a relief or something that they don't want. But even in that case, if they don't want it, in retrospect, they may realize that it was a blessing in disguise. When I pick these central cards, these are not like meant to be future situations, but something that the person is focusing on at this time. By the way, I'm kind of trying to convey the message with these cards, not of predictions, but of looking at your life as it is right now and seeing if you can see any of these cards as being relevant in your life right now, and using other cards to kind of suggest solutions to your problems or hints on how to deal with matters. The card I also got here was the 10 of Pentacles, which is a card of financial stability. In some cases, if somebody's going through some kind of sudden financial issue, again, this would be something that you're already dealing with. And because Capricorn, you have a lot on your plate. You have Pluto in your sign, you have Saturn in your sign, which is your ruler, and you have the South Node. So you have a lot going on and already, and this may be one of them. When Pluto is in your sign, it can make it so that you have to start over from scratch. I mean, some people, it doesn't have to be Pluto in your sun sign, you know, transiting your sun sign. It could be in the 10th house, or, you know, different places that are change agent areas of your life. And you might have to start over from scratch. Pluto can sometimes be that, you know, something's rotten to the core and it has to be purged. It has to be completely purified. And, you know, but this can be anything that is kind of a sudden experience. And even like if you are having marital difficulties and maybe you found out about something that was kind of a surprise, the 10 of Pentacles can be you like immediately thinking about, hey, I have to protect my finances from this other person, perhaps. So it could be like that maybe you found out that they were mismanaging funds, taking money from a joint savings account or checking account. In the past position, we have the 2 of Wands. So it almost makes me think that you already knew that there was a possibility that you were going to like leave this relationship, or that there was somebody else involved. Sometimes the Tower can be falling in love at first sight, you know, with somebody. So that's always a possibility as well. And with the Two of Wands, there can even be this issue of relocation that has come on the table to be decided about. So that might have been something that was, you know, where your career was up in the air, or at least where you are right now. You may have felt like you had to move in order to be able to keep stay with the same company, or you're kind of like still deliberating about it. The higher message is represented by the Judgment card. This is karma. The chicken's coming home to roost, as they say. This card connects to Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio. Now it's interesting because I think I got the Tower card for Scorpio too, or was that another sign? I'm not sure. I think it was Scorpio. But if it was Cancer, now that would really be something, because that's your opposite sign. But the Judgment card, as a spiritual card, is reminding you that this should not come, excuse me, as any kind of surprise, like the Tower card, that you did, if you're honest with yourself, that you knew this day was coming. And I tend to feel that way, especially when the Tower card shows up in relationships. I'm not really that impressed with people who say they never saw it coming. I don't necessarily believe that. I think they look the other way more often than not. I'm not saying it never is possible, but I think a lot of times if you walked in on your partner cheating, for instance, and you were just acting like you can't even, that chances are there was some kind of suspicious behavior going on before then, and you kind of like ruminated in your mind about it, but then you dismissed it. But not that it's just completely shocking to you that this is happening, and how could this possibly happen? To me, when people say things like that, they're really creating this alternative narrative a lot of times. And also with the Judgment card, it's about rebirth. So while you may feel this sense of like, oh my gosh, you may have, Capricorn, you may be like, I don't know if I can take this because there have been so many changes in my life. And this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of change, because now we're in this Cancer, Capricorn axis, eclipse, north-south node, transit activity going on for the next couple of years. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's going to be for the higher good. Something was stagnant in your life. That's what the Tower card is really all about, removing that stagnancy. Or stagnation is probably the right word. What crosses you is the Ace of Swords. This is a card in the upright position that would suggest seeing things as they really are. So it's about, I would say in the challenge position, it's still being in denial a little bit. Maybe telling yourself we can work it out when really you can't, that it wouldn't be good for you. It's about new beginnings, but again, you have to change your thoughts to get there, because you may still be kind of like with the Ten of Pentacles, you may be like thinking, hey, we have a family here. The Ten of Pentacles can be a money card of like generational wealth, but also the generations themselves. And you may be like reluctant to break that up. You may be afraid of losing money in a divorce. There's so many possibilities here. But the bottom line is that if you're going to really have a new beginning, you have to be willing to let go of what doesn't serve you and what has shown in your life to not be working. And Capricorn, isn't it funny, you know, I often think that Capricorns that might be the weak spot in their life, is their private relationships, because you're so on top of your game, usually professionally, that it has to be in the private life where there's more vulnerability. And if you approached your relationships in the way that you approach your career, with the same pragmatic mentality, I think you would be so much better off. But, you know, you're human and you have emotions, and sometimes they may be a bit irrational, where you may trust somebody that isn't deserving of it and live to regret it. But it's time, this is certainly the time to not fall into old patterns with the South Node transiting your sign, because it's luring you. It's like saying, this is familiar, so therefore it's a good thing, when it's really not, you know, when it's just like more of the same. What's coming in is represented by the King of Cups. This could be, you know, if this is either your father and taking some sort of, if you have a father or father figure who is very nurturing, then you may be gravitating towards that person, or any male, older male or mature male who is of a nurturing type of, I was going to say type of nature, nurture nature. It could also be somebody who is very wise, like a counselor. Maybe you go to a marriage counselor to kind of like get your head clear about what your next move should be. Especially if you have children, you may be concerned about their well-being. This can also be somebody like a clergyman who is the person that you go to when you're having problems. But this is definitely seeking some kind of comfort or counseling from someone. And then we have, as the outcome, the Four of Swords. I think that if this is a marriage situation, you may decide to separate, because this is a card of, to me, this is about solitude with your thoughts. You know, I noticed here in the Rider-Waite Pamela Coleman deck that they actually show the stained glass window. So there's like a church setting. It's a card of retreat and reflection, and what's that other not rehabilitation, although that could definitely be it, renewal maybe. I think there's another but that sense of like getting yourself a reboot, you could say, but really like recovering from stress, mental stress, physical stress that this situation has put you in. And that could possibly also include, you know, being away from the home. So that could be like either going to some kind of a foreign place that has a retreat capacity, or some sort of spa, but this isn't like some kind of a thing where you're getting your massages and things. This is more about getting away from other people and their opinions and clearing your head. So to me, it isn't going to be that, it might be a retreat center, but it's not going to be something fancy that's supposed to be self-indulgent, but more about reflection and recuperation from stress. So in the context of a relationship, it could be like a legal separation even, is my feeling, so that you can make the best decision. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that you enjoyed this. and maybe resonated with some of the cards. If you'd like a more personal reading, the link to my website is below. It's rainandmoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.